and record some ambience and put it in this track.
Hey, what is going on, YouTube world? I am your brother Reza. This is KRT Life, KRT Life with the Y. And in today's vlog, I'm going to talk to y'all about how my workflow literally went from as heavy as a tank right here to as light as a feather. So it is no secret that I love Apple products. Apple products are pretty much the center of all of the creative things that we do, like vlogging and creating photography and all the other kind of things that I like to attempt to create. And that journey started back in 2005 when my brother introduced me to Apple products. At the time, he had the older version of this one right here, which is at the bottom of the stack. So let me remove these heavy pieces of machinery away from the stack so I can show y'all this. So originally, he had the original version of this, but that one was stolen, and he got this right here, which is a 2010 15-inch MacBook Pro. This thing is huge. It works great. It has, 8 gigs of RAM in it, 500 gig hard drive. It's super beastly, super heavy, super durable, worked great, but it does a lot, and nowadays I just use it pretty much for DJing and stuff like that. But back in the day, my brother used to use this thing for DJing, producing music, making artwork, and just doing all kind of stuff. And this thing was pretty much just a beast at doing all that stuff. And it still works today. This is a 2010, and now we're in 2020, and the thing is still working, which is a testament to the build quality of these Mac products. I mean, think about it. A Microsoft product still working 10 years later. Don't really think that would happen. So it began here, and it made me think to myself, you know what, I need to get one of these things. So I did get one, and I originally got the 13-inch MacBook, but soon thereafter I realized that the 13-inch MacBook was not really what I needed. So I got this right here, which is a 13-inch MacBook Pro. Now this machine right here is a 2011, the same era of the other one I just showed y'all. And this thing as well has been a tank. It's traveled the world with me. It served me for all the purposes that I needed it for. Good hard drive size, processor, not that great, but everything else, power, screen, everything else is pretty good for the time. And I mean, back then we thought that this was relatively light, but even this thing, I mean, compared to modern times, is like still really, really heavy. And I knew back then, traveling around the world with this, I needed something that was still powerful, but very, very light. So I kept on searching, which brings us to the next machine. And the next machine was this one right here. Now this right here is my 2014, what is this thing called? MacBook Air. And with this machine right here in particular, I had to do some compromises when I got this device because it doesn't have a massive hard drive. It has a solid state hard drive, which is like only 120 something gigs. The RAM is okay, but it's like, you know, it wasn't as much memory as I needed in the machine. And that came back to bite me in the behind, you know, years later when I started doing a lot of video editing on this thing. I realized that this thing really just can't cut it. And another thing I like the size and the weight of this. It isn't too bad, but it is still kind of heavy when you use it a lot. And I carry this thing every single day to my office. But the thing that I hate the most about it is this power supply. This power supply is like, I just hate everything about it. The only thing good about this power supply is that, you know, you can reach around the room or whatever and still get power, but outside of that, this thing, yeah, I don't like it. So I know that I needed something else, but I was kind of hesitant to dump that much money into something else. And then Mac released this right here. This right here is my 2020, excuse all the fingerprints on it because I have been using it a lot, but this is my 2020 iPad Pro 11-inch. And when I saw the specs in this thing and heard that this thing was coming out, I knew I was going to buy one, but I really didn't want to spend the money with the economy going down and then with the COVID-19 stuff and people losing their jobs left and right. But I went ahead and bought one anyway because I needed to step forward into the future of, you know, editing video, and, you know, I just needed to be able to turn around video faster than I was before, and being able to edit on the fly and edit on the move with this thing, because I find myself editing in cars and vehicles a lot. So I got this right here. And so far it has been great. Now I'm not going to tell y'all all the specs and all that kind of stuff on these right here because there's plenty of videos about that type of stuff. But I wanted to kind of go into detail about what it was like to switch from my MacBook Air to my iPad Pro. So, I mean, initially the whole not having a keyboard thing, that's kind of a like thing that people say, oh, can I function without a keyboard? And I think that the answer is yeah. For me, it pretty much wasn't that bad to switch from the MacBook Air. No, the Mac. What is this thing called? Let me look at this thing real quick. Yes, the MacBook Air. So yeah, it wasn't too bad switching from the MacBook Air with the keyboard and the mouse to not having a keyboard and mouse, because everything that you do on this thing is touchscreen and it's just very, very easy to use and very intuitive. The other thing that I love about this, this is one thing that I really seriously love about this thing, is the power supply. So the power supply on the MacBook Air is just this part right here. Now you don't get to reach across the room and get power from other places, but I mean, you can pretty much do everything you need to do, and you can plug it into an airplane easily. You don't have to go digging through a bag. Like, this thing can be, in your little carry-on or in your pocket. And yeah, it's just super easy versus carrying this thing around. And I know people are probably thinking like, okay, this thing, it's not that heavy. Like, why are you complaining? But when you're like, the way that we pack super, super light. So we only take carry-ons. We don't check anything. And when you're carrying literally everything that you're going to need for your trip on your back or in your hand, every ounce, every gram matters. So that's why I wanted to go super light as possible. But this not having a keyboard, not having a mouse hasn't been an issue for me so far. LumaFusion, it's taken me a little bit of time to get used to LumaFusion. I've only been using it for like 2 or 3 days heavy now. And I've been learning the different things on here. Once you launch LumaFusion and all the little items and stuff that you can hit and all that kind of stuff. Been trying to learn all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of information on YouTube already about how to use LumaFusion. So it's actually very easy to learn how to use this and to adjust and to go from Final Cut Pro to LumaFusion was pretty much, it's pretty much not really seamless, but not hard either, to be honest with you. Now, I don't have the keyboard, I don't have a screen protector, and I don't have a pen or any of those things yet. I've been trying to order all that kind of stuff, but with COVID-19 stuff going on, I guess all this stuff is on back order or it's just not priority stuff. So most of the things I tried to order either through Amazon or from Mac either aren't on the market yet or won't be available till, May 4th. So I will be getting that stuff whenever I can, but as of now, using it the way it is, I haven't had any issues really, except for every once in a while I will hit the wrong thing or everything because some of the little icons on the screen are kind of small. But besides that, it's been pretty straightforward switching from, from iMovie to Final Cut Pro to LumaFusion. And this video that you're going to watch is going to actually be my first video that I ever edited with LumaFusion. So let me know how you guys think it came out. Let me know if you like it or let me know if I need to work on it. But typically my edits are very, very simple. I don't do a lot of in-depth things and a bunch of tricks and masking and all that kind of stuff. Because a lot of stuff that I do is do-it-yourself videos. And when you're doing those kind of videos, typically people just want you to get to the point. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. This is KRT LYFE, KRT LYFE with the Y. Like, subscribe, comment, all that cool stuff. I decided to hold on to this iPad 2020, and I hope that I made the right choice. So let me know. All right, y'all, I'm out of here. Peace. Later.